second half. You didn't exactly shoot lights out, but you at least finally make a few shots. Kind of what
we shot 32% for the game and won. I'm happy. We're still not all the way back. Guys were really tentative. James Young 1 for 11. We just, Aaron was 1 for 6 from the 3. We had open looks and passed on open looks, and we're just look. This is a young team, got a little rattled, an overtime loss, and go to South Carolina and had what happened there. They're a little rattled, but they're fine. They're fine. They're having a ball.
With James Young's with Young's poor shooting night, do you want him to keep shooting out of that? He didn't seem to hesitate, or do you just want him to say?
Well, I just said if you're not going to shoot open shots, you got to come out, because now you're playing 4 against 5. So I told him, he and Aaron both, they had open shots. I said, you got to shoot it. You got to be confident. He said, you don't have to shoot a 3. Step in. You don't even have to bounce it. Just don't stand that wide. But we did some things in the second half to get the ball to the baseline. I thought we did a better job of that. But we still missed every, open play. I thought Dakari was outstanding. Willie did a pretty good job defensively. But Dakari did some great stuff to get baskets for us when we needed it. And then as bad as James shot it, he makes a 3 that matters and 3 free throws that matter. That was big. That was big. We could have lost the game. We're still, like I said, Alex is, didn't play as well as he's been playing. I'm so happy for John Hood and Jared Polson. Both of them scored. John scored 2 threes. One they waved off, but
yeah, there was a play where Dakari just shot, and then you wouldn't give John Hood a high five.
Because John Hood said, "Coach, I'm telling you, the lob is there." So we were in huddle saying, Hoodie's telling us that lob's there. Don't be afraid to throw it. So that's why I walked down. He's the one that said it in huddle.
Cal, a little bit off the subject of tonight's game, but you talked about it a little bit last night on the radio. Joe B. Hall talked about it some today. How much is your hip bothering you? How much has that been a pain for you this season?
It's been bothering me, but I got no excuse. I'm just a negative guy.
Are you on pain medication right now?
Oh, my goodness. Now, I'm going to say this. If Alan chased me, he could catch me.
Has that been a rough thing, though, to deal with all during in season?
Yeah, but come on. I mean, I got a massage today. I'm just trying to, we're winding it down. I'm fine. I mean, I did take some painkillers. I don't take aspirin, drugs, nothing. Never smoked. Never. I'm like ridiculous. But I took four straight days of pain pills so I could sleep, and I just said I'm not doing it. I stopped, and I'm fine. I mean, I'm old. I used to be young. I'm old. I'm gonna have to have my hip replaced. I don't know.
John, when you said the players are fine and they're having fun, watching them, it doesn't always look that way. What makes you say that?
Because, let me say this, because I said this the other day. You remember when John Wall came in and said, I'm not having any fun, because it really got rough, and he wasn't playing as well, and they were playing a way to make the game tougher for him. That's part of being here. And then it's highlighted here because of all the glow and all the other stuff and the 100 cameras and all that. But there's no better place to coach or play than here. And I just keep telling them, you have to have more fun than the other team. You have to. If we lose, I've said this for 5 years, who's taking responsibility? I will take responsibility. If we win, they get all the glory. So play. If we lost today, I was going to say it was me again. I'm just so mean. I didn't kiss him enough. I tried to kiss the kid in the mouth. He wouldn't take it. So I would have taken responsibility. Just play. The other thing is to tell them that we're here and we're all in this together for them. But they're young. I mean, this is, I don't read it and hear it, but I imagine they may. I have 5 filters before it gets through to me. Any tweet, Facebook, any article, anything written. It'll go through 5 people before I read it. which means I don't read it. But them, like Dwayne was saying, you know what? I read stuff about me sometimes, so I imagine they're reading stuff about them. Got to deal with it, you know. And the biggest thing we got to come back. Today was a little bit better. When adversity hits, we have not responded here with this group. They instead of coming together when it hits, they go apart. Now the other side of it is when we get down 12 or 15, what happens? They fight and claw and get back in the game. So my thing is play that way the whole time. Play like you're down 15. So, and that was a tough zone for us to go against too, by the way. It's a different kind of zone. It's a 1-1-3 zone where that middleman clogs, so you don't get as much drive. You have to throw it to the baseline, which we started doing. It's just a different kind of zone. And again, we got a bunch of young guys out there and, you know, talking them through stuff. But let me just say, you do 32% win, you're really happy as a coach. You're happy.
Cal, there was a stretch in the second half. You guys were really getting after. There was Andrew dove on the floor for loose ball.
Yeah, we're getting there.
How much of that happens though only when shots fall? 'Cause it seems like when that started happening.
That's the young guys, and that's what we're trying to battle a little bit. And we, you know, like I said, at the end of the day, you and I know we just had to win this game. It didn't matter what the score. It could have been a half-court bank shot. We just needed to win the game. And now we got to just keep building right now. They got a day off tomorrow. We got 2 days, and we have a noon game down in Florida. It's going to be an absolute war, hard game for us. But it's a great game for us. It's exactly what this team needs.
Talking about that Florida game, there's so many storylines you can look into that with them trying to go 18-0. What are you going to kind of zone in on in that game? And
I haven't even thought about it.
kind of playing with house money in a sense they're number one in the country?
I haven't thought about it. I'm trying to figure out if I'm coming back next year or not.
John, what did you do?
I didn't do a press conference. I didn't have anything to say. I couldn't talk about the officials. And I couldn't talk about the last 10 minutes. I wasn't there. So I didn't do it. All of a sudden, it's like people are going nuts, losing their minds.
Cal,
I know, Jerry. It just drives you crazy. Red-faced. Here we go.
Cal, what is the mark that Jared and John left on this program?
What was that?
What is the mark that Jared and John left on this program?
Well, they're two of the most loved players, maybe other than Darius, that I've coached here. But they're right there with them. They're both going to have great careers because of what they've done here. Both of them already have companies that have called them about, hey, what are you doing after you're done playing? And they're just both have grown as young men. John Hood especially. I mean, this kid. Like, I'd like to be around him all day. And those first 2 years were so hard and so tough on him. It's like he said at the end of last year, I hated everybody. Hated you, coach. I hated it. I hated it. He says, now I have fun playing. I have fun coming every day. I want to be coached. I'm better. I'm the best I've ever been as a player. And he's played with more NBA players than any player in the history of basketball. He played with more in his time here. And, you know, both of them have benefited, and that we've both benefited by having him here.
Johnson, you said you have 5 filters before anything gets to you.
What's that?
You said you had 5 filters before it gets to you. How did it get to you about the fact there's some talk out there about you not coming back?
Because when I went in the office, my secretary asked me, are you not coming back next year? I go, what? She said it was on Around the Horn, it was on First Take, and they're doing a 30-30 movie on it. Really? Really? And then Dan Patrick talked about it, and Andy Katz already has my replacement. I'm like, what? Where is, because I didn't do a post-game interview? Wow. We're not the most overanalyzed program in the country. I was wrong when I said that.
So you are coming back?
I hope. If I get through the hip surgery. Again, guys, understand, tough for these kids what we've been through, but they hung tough and did it. And even now, you got a couple guys that you could see were still not through the dregs of what we went through. But we win, we move on, we see what happens from here. Thank you.